Yeah, it's a show about nothing. We're not keeping that in the cut, just so you know. I call it 20-somethings. Yeah. I said it's 20-something, all day, listening all day. Do you hear me? No way. And I call it 20-somethings in the hallway. I'm just trying to ball, pass it all to me all day. Cause it's 20-somethings, a show about nothing. I don't even know what I'm saying, gotta be something. It's 20-somethings, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to 20SomethingsTV. I'm Danielle Farrell.
I'm Chris Anderson.
I'm Jack Aronimo.
I'm Alex Aronimo.
And today we have a guest, Professor Justin Wyatt. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Today's first topic is our generation's most recent obsession, Netflix. Do you think people watch Netflix more than they watch TV or go to the movies?
Now, definitely.
Definitely.
I think if not yet, very soon, because it is the future. It's doing everything right, moving forward.
You don't think it is now?
I mean, it could be, I just don't know.
Like, think about it. If you want to watch a show, where are you going to watch it?
Probably Netflix.
See, that
Think
goes on-
about how even like shows they give out their series. Like they dump everything in like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
That's the wave of the future. I mean, once the broadcast networks start doing that and the cable networks, then everything's going to change. But I asked my students about how they watch TV. No one watches like live TV anymore.
Yeah,
Way
it's all
too
Netflix.
expensive.
Yeah, I was
it's
going to
just
say,
too
I don't
expensive.
think anybody watches cable television other than my little sister anymore
Your parents.
because that happens. Or my dad watching sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
See, but at
Sports,
the
I
same
guess.
time, like I'll be sitting at home and I'll go and flip through the channels and it's like commercial. When you go on Netflix, you pay that $8 a month and you can
10.
watch
$10 a month.
$10, whatever.
Yeah.
It's on my mom's credit card.
Chris, do
Don't
you
tell
like,
her.
do you like the content though? Is the Netflix content good?
Yeah, well, there's a great variety of stuff.
Like what?
Name an original series.
I love all like the Marvel shows.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
And then I love other shows that like How I Met Your Mother's on there, The Office is on there, Mad Men's on there. Like I watch a lot of Netflix. I didn't.
Yeah, I think Netflix did a really good job of not only bringing forward really good content of their own, but also like pulling in a lot of people's favorite content all in like to the same place.
What about Hulu?
Yeah, and then that's a good point. You got to talk about like the competition, but when you think of things like Netflix, you have to think of things that are like Netflix. You don't think of things that are like Hulu for a reason. I mean, Netflix
That's
is
true.
easily on top.
Do you guys use the other ones though? Hulu, Amazon Prime?
I had to get Hulu for one of my film classes, but other
You
than
had
that,
to?
yeah,
Yeah.
like because all the films for that class were on Hulu, so we had to buy a subscription.
And Amazon Prime, all the students get. But Amazon Prime, I think, is different because it's more than just watching stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
But there's some good content on Amazon Prime.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, there's a difference. Amazon Prime, you can get the new movies, like a lot of newer movies come out and they'll dump them on Amazon Prime. Netflix has a lot of like older stuff. It goes back really far with like just like more obscure, like they have new stuff too, but
Yeah.
like Amazon Prime I feel like has a lot more new stuff. And then they have also like network exclusive
So
content.
would you do both Netflix and Amazon Prime? Like could you?
Yeah.
Or just,
I do both.
You do both.
I have both
I mean,
as well.
if you were going to cut out like a cable company or like a satellite TV company, you could have literally every one of those services and probably be paying half of what you'd be
Yeah,
paying.
exactly,
That's the
'cause
difference. And
That's the future.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said,
Cable's
like the cable
expensive.
companies, the TV companies are going to catch on. I mean, they already have. I know Xfinity has pretty much its own Netflix. It's got its own library of shows and movies that you can just go in. Like they are trying to make this transition so they don't get phased out.
Yeah, but you can't compare Netflix to how Xfinity's doing their business because when I go home and watch a movie, it's like $6, $7 a movie.
Well, some of them are free. Like that's the thing. They have
yeah, there
some
are some
free
good stuff on Xfinity.
Not even
There are
older
free
ones.
movies, but there's like
I
the
get what you're
content's
saying,
not
yeah.
nearly matched to $10 a month with Netflix.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
to,
absolutely.
to cable. You know what
Absolutely
I mean?
not.
But you know, $10 a month, that's like less than a movie. It's like so cheap.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
That's why, especially as a college student, like all of us have Netflix because it's just so cheap.
Right.
But besides the prices, there's also the original series. What do you guys think about that? If like, not only Netflix is doing them, but like all these other competitors are also doing original series. What do you
Even
think about that
YouTube
concept?
Red is doing.
Yeah,
original
YouTube Red.
I think they're being really smart and they're reinvesting a lot of the money that they're making from these other shows and movies, and they're dumping it back into these these creators so they could say, yeah, not only are we a company that has movies that you like to watch, we also are a company that makes movies and shows that you want to watch. They're trying to rebrand themselves.
Yeah, it just gives
What's
everybody
YouTube
just
Red?
one more reason.
YouTube Red is like it's pretty much Netflix.
Porno?
No, it's ad-free YouTube with special exclusive like movies and shows that were
Alright.
made for that.
usually by their own like YouTubers that you find on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
Think about Netflix though, when they do an original series, the people who get Netflix, who are like always on Netflix, and then Netflix comes out with their own show that's only on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, you know, you get Netflix, you get all this extra shows that they make specifically for the people that watch.
Yeah.
But some of those shows are not great, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, some are terrible,
Right.
but others are great, arguably.
Arguably.
Yeah.
No Game of Thrones, let's face it.
Yeah, that's an HBO
That's an
special.
HBO
I know,
special.
I know.
So, besides Netflix going on in this world, there's like people are coming out with their own books, and there's someone named Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal, my bad. She was born white, and she's recently started identifying as black. She was the former president of NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But she resigned due to a controversy of people noticing that, or like saying that she is not black because she was born white. And she recently, like, this was a problem about like a couple months back in the summertime, and recently became a big thing again because she's written a book called In Full Color, Finding My Place in a Black and White World, meant to advance national conversation about race and identity. And she's been calling herself transracial. Yeah.
Alternative fact.
Yeah.
Transracial. Not in my vocabulary.
So
Are
many
you
people
offended by it,
transracial.
Chris?
It doesn't affect me
Right.
directly, but I just don't see in any form of the way how, of any like how you're white. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm black today. Like that's not a thing. Like that doesn't comprehend in my brain.
Unless you're Michael Jackson.
No, I just don't like it's not. It's drawing attention to something that you don't need to draw attention to. There's no reason why you need to be identifying as a different race.
I mean, part of it is that nobody will ever know truly why she did it. Nobody will ever know. Only she will know because
She's
it's
gonna
in her
get
head.
wicked famous off of it. She already
Okay,
has.
I mean that's something you could say. The fact that she wrote a book and got all this popularity and has probably sold a lot of copies of the book, some people would probably outreach and say, you know, she probably did it for the money. But there's definitely more than that.
I mean, guys, I think you have to take into account that she said that, you know, she admits now that she's Caucasian, but she identifies as black. You know,
Black and
which-
not African American.
And thank you, and not African American. So that's kind of problematic too. But part of the issue is, you know, here you have somebody who is aligning herself with a group in American society that has been marginalized, discriminated against for decades, you know, and in some ways she's trying to draw attention to that, but it just seems very strange the way she's doing it. You know?
It seems illogical the way she's doing it.
Right.
Like,
I
you
don't disagree with you.
Right, like, you know, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to discriminate against any group. I'm saying that by drawing extra, like, if you're gonna try to fight racism, which is, you know, what she's trying to do, then you don't draw more attention to the fact that there's a dividing line there.
Yeah,
you know?
just because
You
it's
want to
a
bring
really
people together.
bad
You
way.
don't.
It's-
You don't
yeah,
want
it's
to say
really
I'm black
backwards.
now. You want to say, you know, we're all. You asked me earlier, what do I identify as? I
Right.
said American. You can put 8 different people that all look different in this room, in the same room, and say, what do you identify as? If they all say American, then there's not a problem there. It's when everybody starts separating off into different groups and colliding. When you have cultures that are
But don't
gonna,
you think that all groups should be treated equally in our society?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is she leaving one group for another group, saying that one's better than the other?
Yeah, it's
when
pretty.
she
it's-
should be
in-
saying.
in that aspect, it's really backwards.
Yeah,
it's really regressive.
I just don't understand how in my mind it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I think, you know, it's interesting because when I lecture about racial inequality as part of my classes, particularly how it's portrayed in the media, and I always preface my lectures by saying, I can't speak to the African American experience. It's not my lived experience.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you this, and it's my experience as a middle class, middle age, you know, Caucasian guy. But still, here's what I see. But I always preface it by saying it's not my lived experience. You know?
Yeah.
There's like, okay, so another thing she's been saying is that race is a social contract, which something is I understand that like what identifies like someone as black according to like their culture is like, you know, it's this because of this, it's this because of this, it's how we identify people, but at the same time, race is your skin color, it's a pigmentation of your skin that you got through years and like centuries of ancestors.
Yeah, there's
and
a
where
difference
they're from.
between being transgender and trans race.
There's a big
There's
difference
a huge
between
difference.
that. Gender is literally like, I understand when people are saying they're transgender and they're saying because their DNA screwed up when they were getting
Because it's
born.
a
And there's
biological
like,
difference?
it is a biological
Yeah.
difference. There's such things as intersexuality when you're born with two different genitals.
Right.
And so obviously you're gonna like grow up and maybe you're gonna see yourself as something else, and that's completely possible. But your skin tone is not a mistake from years and years and years of like family living in a certain place in the world.
Yeah.
And that skin color will possibly come with a culture and tradition and religions that you will feel like are yours because that's where you're from. And she does not have that background. She does not have family from Africa bringing over cultures and like beautiful traditions and beautiful everything to even think that she can identify as that. I feel that's very insulting to those people who do have that.
And she lied about her father too.
Yeah.
True. And another very like important like situation going on right now is the LGBTQ community is getting really mad at YouTube for placing a gay-themed restriction intended to block violent and pornographic content, but they're putting LGBTQ people and like that community under that.
Yeah, there's a lot of what's happening is like destroying careers of like LGBTQ community members who have like built up this kind of franchise on YouTube, and now all of a sudden are just destroyed out of nowhere, and they have no idea what to do. They have no idea how to recover, and there's nothing they really can do to recover because YouTube's disgusting, broken system.
I think it's really offensive. I mean,
Yeah.
This is how I see it. It's like if you're saying it has to be an age restriction for anything that's LGBTQ, what you're saying is that content's probably going to be pornographic or sexually explicit. And no, it's just the topic is LGBTQ. So to have an age restriction on it, I think is really pushes the line.
Yeah, when I saw it at first, I thought it was, like you said, it was going to be pornographic, and then
Right.
when I found out that it wasn't, that is wrong. However, there is another, like, I'm very, I view things in maybe a more capitalistic way. So it's YouTube's platform. They have rules that they abide by. People follow those rules. Millions of people post videos, and they're fine with the rules up until it doesn't agree with what, their beliefs are, which, I'm not saying I agree with it at all. I disagree with it. I think that, it's wrong
As a
with the way it's
YouTube
been
user, you should take a stand, don't you think?
YouTube is
Right.
a platform where you're
Right.
supposed to be able to post whatever you want. Like,
Which you
although
can.
it has
You can
changed,
post it. No,
yes,
they
but
stripped
it's
them down.
insulting for it to be like restricted because of someone's like preference for what gender they're going to date or be with and whatever they identify as.
So
It's
post it somewhere
insulting.
else. That's what I'm saying.
But they shouldn't have to
no,
post.
yeah.
But it's
post somewhere
YouTube's
else.
platform. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying I'm saying that I feel that you're right that they shouldn't have done it that way. However, it's YouTube's platform. They have control over how they regulate their media.
What makes this matter even more, and I know YouTube has the control of that, but they are literally ruining careers by doing this.
Yeah.
Because an age-restricted video means they can't run ads on it, which means YouTubers can't get paid, which means they don't make any money, which means they can't post on YouTube anymore. So just doing something like that is pretty much saying, like...
And it's the start, yet again,
F
of
you.
kind of demonizing LGBTQ people in a way that I thought we kind of moved beyond in our society.
Yeah, it's
we
really-
made social progress, but maybe we haven't.
It's really confusing because YouTube has always been a group who has advocated for LGBTQ community rights as far as I have seen in the past, but then this kind of just came out of nowhere. Like this just hit all of a sudden for no reason and with absolutely nothing behind it. It just happened. They just threw it out there.
It's what YouTube usually does.
Yeah.
They just throw things out there and they get the backlash, and then they're like, wait, we messed up.
Do better, YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The only thing we can do now is to like complain as much as possible for anything
Yeah.
that we feel right or wrong.
Including you, Chris.
Oh, I voiced my opinion quite clearly.
All right, all right.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching 20SomethingsTV. Check out our Instagram at 20SomethingsTV. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
20-somethings, all day, listening all day. Do you hear me? No way. And I call it 20-somethings in the hallway. I'm just trying to ball, pass it all to me all day. Cause it's 20-somethings, a show about nothing.